right, it's time to say good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, shortly at 2 o'clock, we'll be live on Live FM 104.5 in Local Town, Super FM 95.5 in Congo Town, and Super Television Channel 10. This is yours truly, the medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. That now you know me, Garley. Let's have fun. Welcome to the show. Women of Liberia are supposed to work together. When your sister is in trouble, you need to put hands around her and not the other way around. And I think I saw some of my Liberian sisters today in protecting and alleged sexual harassment kids today at the Capitol. It just makes me wonder what is going on in our country. And some of the media institutions are saying little or nothing about these kids. We need to protect our sisters, protect our wives, protect our daughters. We are not saying the Minister Destiny is guilty, but he needs to come out. We need to hear from him what really happened. And I'm glad that they adjourned the hearing today until we can hear something. We will dig deeper. We will continue to dig deeper in this matter. And as soon as we get signal from Mrs. THOMPSON, THOMPSON, she's our special guest this afternoon. She will be live on Bridge Radio Africa. Invite a few friends, share the video. Folks, I'm telling you, let's have fun. I want to say good afternoon to my professional colleague, Charles B. Yates. He's in the building this afternoon. And shortly will be live on Super FM 95.5, Live FM 104.1 in Local Town. Mrs. Elizabeth Martin Talton White is in the building. Sam Koluba, Francis Power from Norway. Grace Corrington Court is also in the building this afternoon. T. Dawkins Richards and the rest of the crew. Sarah Lynn Bay Fofana. Moses Yipan is in the building as well. Mohammed Kamara is in the building. Zaid, to be precise. What's up, my man? Been a minute. Mona Coty from Belgium. You know, somebody has to speak up. It can't just be Mrs. Kuma Thompson. We have our other sisters here speaking as well. Mrs. Goa, Grace Corrington Goa, and the rest of the advocates. Continue to do what you do. But my question to our leader, the president of Liberia, if you say rape and sexual-based violence will be considered national emergency, and after hearing about the minister designate, I think you would have said, you know, my man, sit down until the people investigate. and found somebody else. But it is not the case, Mr. President. Our country is in trouble. Our country is in a serious trouble. Only God can help us now. But you, the strong ladies, please don't give up. Continue to fight. Continue to fight for your sisters. Continue to fight for your brothers who are vulnerable in Liberia. And only God can pay you for what you do and continue to do it for our country. We are trying to make contact now with Mrs. Yunakuma Thompson. Oh, man. That's right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to ASHFORD GARLEY Live. Time has changed. And going forward on Mondays and Wednesdays, we'll be on the air from 2 to 3:30. And then it'll be 6 p.m., 6 to 7:30 in Liberia, just to accommodate the other local radio stations over there. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome Mrs. Yunakuma Thompson. Hello, sis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long time.
Yep, long time.
What?
But it's good to be back. It's good to see you.
I know. Well, for the sake of the audience, I would just give you 1 or 2 minutes to give us your opening statement. Perhaps tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, my name is Yunakuma Thompson, an author and advocate for women's rights and inspirational speaker. And the list goes on. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a public servant. I'm everything in the interest of a like.
Oh Lord, this network. Hello, are you still there? Mrs. Thompson, are you still there? Jeez, what we need to do, yeah, is see if we can get her via WhatsApp because this internet.
particularly.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, now you. I think we better do it on WhatsApp because the internet is acting up. Okay.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, back to what you were saying about your introduction. Go ahead. You're live on the radio.
Yes, I said my name is Yuna Kuma Thompson, and I'm an advocate and author, advocate for women's rights and author, inspirational speaker, and an entrepreneur, a public servant, a politician. I'm everything, but this is who I am, a woman who particularly is focused on promoting women's rights and good governance.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, your accusation against Ambassador D. Maxwell Sakimaya has sparked national debate on sexual harassment in the workplace. What really happened?
Well, Wani Cummings Wilson sent a communication. She works at the the Liberian UN mission with Ambassador Kemenya. And from information that we have, on September 3rd or so, she sent him a communication informing him about what he's done to her in January, sexually harassed, asking her for a kiss, closing the door in his office on her birthday after everyone has left, and also asking her to come in. And then, of course, the advances made. And so she informed him of that on September, particularly when he was announced as minister, designated Minister of Foreign Affairs designate. And at that point, I think it triggered not only her fear, it triggered a feeling of wanting to speak out in spite of the fear, knowing that someone like him will be given an extra position, and if she didn't speak up, she had a responsibility to speak out, to say exactly what happened to her, not to be silent. And we were contacted, WOBNet, the Women of Liberia Peace Network, and for me being an advocate, that brought to my desk. And our position is our position when that investigation be done. She sent communications to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other stakeholders within government, the Ministry of Gender. We sent to the committees of Foreign Affairs, committees of gender, basically that no abuse, no abuse, no accuser should be silenced, and no alleged perpetrator should be misjudged without due process. So we asked that an investigation be conducted, which the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in fact, had already sent out communication to both Kemenya and Wani in this regard. And we hold to that. It's not about when, but it's about getting to the facts. Did it happen? So that at the end of the day, both the accused and the alleged perpetrator can find justice.
Now, Mrs. Thompson, some are wondering why it took you so long or why you didn't file an official complaint long before now.
I've been telling people, and this is what we've been doing over the years, creating awareness. Rape, sexual abuse, and I think any violation of anyone's rights on a personal level, the first thing that the alleged victim feels is fear. Fear of stigmatization, fear of smears, fear that they will not be believed. It's such a shock that when it happens, they really don't know what to do. And in our situation, in many instances, when women cry out for rape or being harassed, they're often treated that they are the ones who caused it, and they suffer a lot physically and mentally, even from the family level. So before you even begin to speak, all of these things are happening to you, aside the experience of being raped or sexually harassed. So it takes a while. Many women, many girls don't talk. Many families will say anything is a hush hush because you're afraid. Very few are brave enough, triggered by something, triggered by their own emotional battles, or something triggers them to feel that they have a responsibility to override their fear and speak out. And they choose their own moments and that time to face their demons and to talk about it. So definitely, Wani Cummings Wilson coming out at this moment is basically that. And what triggered it was Ambassador Camilla serves currently at the Liberian mission as the UN ambassador, and he's been appointed to be deputy to be Minister of Foreign Affairs. That is very, very key. And she works there also. And this triggered it that she had to speak out. Coupled with the fact that and encouraging fact that women don't speak here, but particularly so that the President, His Excellency George Manuel Weah, has just declared rape and SGBV as a national emergency. I think those factors encouraged her to brave the storm, to speak out what happened to her. And it's her speaking out, it's her allegation.
Well,
It needs to be investigated. It
well,
doesn't matter when it happened in New York. Allegations as such has limitations up to 3 years. In our own country, it has no nothing. So it's not about when she spoke, that would negate the validity of her story, of her experience, but rather that it happened and she was brave enough to talk about it. We have a responsibility now as a nation, as a people, as to make sure that they get justice, the both of them, and you can only do so through a thorough investigation. Through
Ambassador Ambassador Kimanya is claiming that your accusation is politically motivated and that you have been pushed by some political actors. How true is this?
I think it's a little cheap. It's a cheap conversation that happens all the time. That something has to be politically motivated. The bodies of women, from my standpoint, from what I've spoken, and from my records, I follow the facts, I follow the evidence as I speak and advocate for women's rights. And I know that I'm not naive that people sell their soul for their personal gains, for political scores, such that they make the other person look bad. But I want to say here categorically that Wani is not speaking out because she's being pushed by someone. It happened, it's an allegation, and she has spoken. And for us that she's reached out to elevate her voice at the national level, we are not politically driven. In other words, we're not looking for anything other than the truth. It's not. It's women's bodies and the experiences are not political. We should not make any hurt of someone or any accusation or the sense of a perpetrator to make it political. In other words, you want a job or somebody is putting up you. You don't destroy someone's career. I do not believe in it. And in our fight, we don't go after wanting to destroy anybody, neither our nation. We support our country, we support our president, but as he stands firm against sexual gender based violence, we do so as well. The question here is, or the demand is, let it be investigated. Some people may use it. He has gone around and brought people in to give him support for whatever that is. He has a right to do that. But we should stop thinking about it's political and look at the issue, focus on the issue, and that's about it. The merits and the demerits of it. And we can only reach to a conclusion, a justifiable conclusion, when an investigation is done. And all of that can be inclusive as well. If it's politically motivated, if somebody is pushing her to lie, or somebody is covering up for him, anything can happen. But we can only arrive at the truth when it's investigated.
Now, what do you make of women coming out in the numbers today at the Capitol in support of the minister designate?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I said, what do you make of the woman you saw today at the Capitol building in support of the minister designate? They came out in the numbers.
Well, it's not about numbers. We're not about numbers. We're about the issues. So that could be politically motivated. He has a right to bring out a couple of people they can dance around. This is a culture that we have here, and people think that we can quiet. We can, certain things can go underwater when you put a lot of people, when you have the might of power, when you have the might of resources. And of course, people can come out. He has a right to do that. But that's not what we're questioning. We are saying that he can bring, we want to stick on the issue of allegation of sexual harassment. And everyone deserves to be heard. Whether you bring in 10 million people to dance for you, that's not our concern. The president, our constitution gives the president the prerogative to appoint and to remove. The president also has a responsibility to listen to everyone and be the president of everyone. The legislature, the Senate has an oversight to confirm. And in that confirmation, they follow the steps to ascertain whether the nominee is of good standing, warrants confirmation. So no matter the clapping, and I'm very, very happy that today our country again has shown that despite the crowd, despite so many people coming to dance and to sing hallelujah, which is their right, that they have paid heed to the ears to someone who has said, I have been sexually harassed. And we have said, this is an allegation. It should not be swept under the rug. She needs to be heard. Justice needs to be done, both for her and for him. He's a family, he's a career person. She's also a career professional woman. It should be investigated so that they both, at the end of the day, whatever the judgment is, based on a transparent and thorough investigation, when the result comes out, we are satisfied with that.
Well, if you're just joining us, folks, this is ASHFORD GARLEY Live. We're live on Super FM 95.5. We're also live on Super Television Channel 10. We're live on 104.1 Live FM and more stations to follow in the coming week. Now, Mrs. Thompson, give our audience your understanding and perception of the Liberian government response in handling the situation regarding the just ended anti-rape protests.
I think today, after, because Miss Wilson sent out communication internally to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to the President's office, the gender committees, the gender ministry, and all relevant stakeholders nationally, internationally. And we, as an advocate, the Women's Rights Platform for Justice, #Wani, elevated her voice to ask for a halt to the confirmation until investigations are done. And particularly so, Ambassador Kemiya has a lawyer in New York who has written a 4-page statement debunking what she said. And of course, in that light, several allegations. So all of this is need to be looked at. Today, the Senate met with all of us, with everybody outside. And something very wonderful happened that I'm very proud of my country again, and I'm very proud that the president allowed that process. He put his nomination out, and there was no cohesion, whatever. And the Senate met and decided that they will halt the confirmation until a thorough investigation is done. Today, I'm very happy for that, especially so when our president has shown the will to say that he stands against rape and sexual gender-based violence and declared a national emergency. I think this is a way forward, that no victim, no alleged victim, not a voice of one child, one woman should be unheard, and no one is above the law. And today, the government, the Senate, our legislature has signaled that every cry needs to be heard. It needs to be investigated. And that is something that we must applaud. I, as an advocate, I'm very, very elated about this.
Now, since you broke silence on this issue, tell us, have you been threatened by anyone in and outside of Liberia?
It's not me, it's Wani Cummings Wilson. She broke the silence, and we're just elevating her voice.
Now, the fact that you are, women's advocate, what does this say to your safety as well? Now that people are saying from both sides that this is somehow politically motivated.
There's nothing. Everything is fine. Every audience, everywhere we've sent our information has been received very well. And like I said, the political will, the policy of the president to speak and say, I stand against rape, I stand against sexual gender-based violence, regardless, and it must come to an end. At the 2 weeks national conference wherein he put a proclamation, but not only the proclamation, he agreed to appropriate $2 million to ensure that, SGBV comes to an end, and to ensure that not only are perpetrators brought to justice, but a registry of perpetrators be put forth. We're not afraid. We've never been threatened, and we do not want to threaten anyone. And we have to understand this, our country, the issues that we fight against the issues that hinder the growth of our nation, that hinder the well-being of women. We do not fight. We do not fight against our government. We do not fight against our nation. We do not fight against our president. So we're not afraid. We've never been threatened, and we don't believe that's going to happen. As long as we remain law-abiding. In all of this, we must remain law-abiding. We must let justice take its place. And that is why we totally disagree with anyone and would discourage anyone wanting to use this situation for their political scores. Because it is not about a political gain. It's about the rights of women. It's about helping our government to address some of the ills that are within our society without any prejudice, and that no voice goes silent because they are afraid. And once that platform has been laid for us, we will stick up to that. So we've not experienced any threats, and I don't think we're going to be.
Is it true that the complaint was on the desk of the Foreign Affairs Ministry and the Gender Ministry before the Minister Destiny was appointed, and also before the anti-rape protest came on in this month, earlier this month? What do you know?
I'm not sure, but September 3rd, the communication was sent to the officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in this purview responded to that. Responded immediately to the to Miss Wani Cummings that there will be an investigation, and within that communication, they also indicated that Ambassador Kemia was informed. The Ministry of Gender, Social and Women's Social and Development were also informed, and they have also sent a communication to Ms. Cummings that they will be. They had sent a communication to Ambassador Kemia for consultation, and in subsequently we plan of, I believe, a consultative meeting with Wani Cummings Wilson.
Now, what has been your conversation with the Minister of Gender regarding the entire rape business and sexual harassment going on in our country?
The alleged Miss Cummings sent that communication to the Ministry of Gender, Social Welfare and Development, Children and Welfare. She sent a communication. She sent everything that she had, the letter that she sent to Ambassador Kimia, Ambassador Kimia's response by his lawyer. She informed them just around September the 3rd, the early month of September. Last couple of days, in 2 days or so, to be exact, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Development informed her that they will be looking into the matter, asking her to avail herself for such a time. So everyone, she also sent communication to the legislature, to the Senate committee, governance committee. We follow up with the governance committee. We follow up with the gender committee. We follow up with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We acknowledge and we thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for its efforts to investigate. And we inform them as a women's rights platform for justice that we are asked the committees, the confirmation committee, to halt all proceedings until a thorough investigation.
Ambassador Kimia was just appointed dean of the cabinet, and he has been accused.
He was appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs.
I'm sorry. That's the dean of the cabinet, Minister of Foreign Affairs. Okay, now he has been accused for alleged sexual harassment. What does it mean for Liberia to the United Nations or to the rest of the world? What does it mean for our country?
I think from it has a tint, but more so if it is not looked into very thoroughly. Accusations are accusations. One is proving innocent. One is innocent until proving guilty. That is why it is important that an investigation, be it legal, be it administrative, be conducted very thoroughly. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is the first ministry, is the face of the nation of any country. It is third in command. A high profile, one who has been nominated to such a position, with such a position, the country cannot take anything lightly, especially sexual gender-based violence or sexual harassment allegation. It is important that a thorough investigation be conducted very well to the satisfaction of everyone, very transparent, and that will even strengthen the image of our country. It will signal that, yes, indeed, our country is not only signed up to women's rights, to instruments, and it would not only dilute the stance of our president against violence against women, that we are moving on the right track as long as an investigation is done. If an investigation is done, is vindicated, as profiles even better our nation, that he's able to stand the test of time, that he can go through an investigation, he can go through a legal process, and he come out victorious. But the country has the political will to have conducted that. With such action, I think all other things will be minute, because it will have profiled our country's commitment to women's rights, to ending violence against women.
The voice of Mrs. KUMBA THOMPSON. She is a woman's advocate and a politician. Would not take to the telephone line and have you call in if you have a question for Mrs. Thompson. The telephone number to call is 313-408-8396. 313-408-8396 is the number to call. And if you're just joining us, this is British Radio Africa, Ashford Garley Live. Time has changed now. Well, yeah, Mondays or Wednesdays from 2 to 3:30, the 6 to 7:30 in Liberia. So stations are already trooping to relay our broadcast in Liberia. I want to say a big thank you to Live FM and Super FM this afternoon for relaying our program. So again, the number to call, just in case you have question for Mrs. Thompson, is 313-408-8396. Now, despite the charges or the accusations against Ambassador Kimanya, uh, what do you make of his appointment as the Minister of Foreign Affairs?
Well, it's not in my prerogative, I don't. It's the president has the right, the constitutional right to appoint and to remove. That's his. That's the prerogative. That is the constitutional right of the president. As a citizen, as a woman, and as one who wants the best of our country, we always look forward to, and we believe that whatever the president does, he does it in the interest of our nation, of everyone. And making the right decisions, choosing the right people is very important. And it's also important for us that those who are chosen to support the work of the president, to support the agenda to move our country forward, must be of like mind. That everything that is done, their walk and talk, must be in a way that it will pull high the agenda of the president. It will it will elevate the image of the president, and it will reflect, it will reflect their commitment in following the agenda of the president for the development of our country, and also of women and children as a whole. So, my opinion, I have no opinion on that, other than to look forward to the best of our country, and believe that our president has the interests of our nation at heart. And all that we need to do is put our own hands together and do the best that we can. And we have to work circumspectly, so that the agenda of the government, the agenda of the president is in the interest, or is moved forward for the betterment of our nation and people.
Now, give us some testimonials. What has been your accomplishment since you started the advocacy in terms in terms of women advocacy, right? What have you done? What can you say you're proud of since you started this advocacy business? Because you go by far back at forever.
We go as far as back as 2003. I've always been some kind of an activist politically from university days. But I think 2003 brought that to light at the Peace Conference in Accra, where again we played a major role in making sure that the work came to an end in Liberia. So my advocacy at the national level and in that collective effort began from there, and we yielded good results. We had the peace process. We had the signing of the peace accord that started a democratic process in Liberia, and of course with the election of the first woman president. And over the years, my voice has even been stronger for women's rights, looking at the skills in society for gender equality. And what have I achieved? I think I've been able, joining collective voice, to highlight the issues of women in Liberia, to fight towards achieve some recognition of that there is a need for gender equality in Liberia. Through the organization that I was a co-founder, WOPNet, Women of Liberia Peace Network, we've been able to do that, to create awareness from a wider range, and I think contributing to the stability of our nation. I would say those are some of the strives. They are not things that I can own individually. History will have to judge itself. But I think my contribution to all of this has got us to where we are today, such that I was able to author a book the woman's shoe on shattered glass, from all of those experiences centered around women's rights. And continue today raising a voice of another woman, and having to have our Senate say they will halt the confirmation until investigation. Those are just some of the moments, some of the achievements in the struggle.
Now, Miss
Of,
Cummings is willing to do a lie detector test, and she's also asking the accused here to also do a lie detector test. Now, Mrs. Thompson, how far are you willing to go with this case? Because we want to really go to the bottom of this. If this young lady is not saying the truth, or if, on the other hand, if the minister Destiny is not saying the truth, we want to really go to the bottom of this. So how far are you going to do that? But hold that thought. Let me take a quick word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Work it, work it, work it, work it.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends of Dillon, mothers, come one, come all. The battle of the sexy. The yellow ADD girls versus the red devil ADD boys to battle out in the ADD fundraising of the year. In support of the Senator's Security and Senatorial Re-Elections Day, we're having a fundraising drive on Sunday, September 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time via Zoom. The ADD Yellow Ladies versus the ADD Red Devil Boys. Wookie, that will go win. My people, I'm telling you, the battle would not be easy. Yours truly, the medicine of the microphone, ASHFORD the Giant Garley, will be the commentator. Special guest referee is the senator himself, the light, Darius DeLong. The godfather of Liberian politics, Emmanuel Yato, will captain the men. Hawa Yomi Moore of Mothers will captain the women. Official jersey, women in yellow and men in red. That will go win. See you on Sunday, September 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on British Radio Africa. That now you know me. Back to you, Mrs. Thompson.
yes, I'm here.
I say, how far are you willing to go with this case? I mean, people have heard.
As far as justice requires to be served. Remember, we have the accused and the one who's accused. Both are people with their careers, with families, and are contributing to our nation at different levels. So definitely, everyone deserves justice. And to get justice is not cheap. So it means that, everything with no stone will be left unturned, untouched until we get to the facts and evidence.
Okay.
The facts and evidence matter. So as far as it allows to be able to get justice for the both persons.
Okay, again, folks, if you're just joining us, we're live on Super FM 95.5, Super Television, Channel 10, and Live FM 104.1 in Monrovia. We have a caller on the line. Again, the number to call is 313-408-8396. Mr. Steve Bowley is on the line from Arizona. Hello, Steve. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Garley. Thank you so much. Thank you to your guests in studio, and thanks to the Liberian people all around the world, especially those in Liberia that are tuning in to listen. Because of the sake of time, I'll run directly into my questions here, into my concern. Let me run into my concern first. First of all, I'm very concerned about the studio guests assertions here. In all honesty, I think, in my honest view, I think the studio guest is projecting more of a praise singing, and she seems, in my honest view, to be more of a campaigning a message of the government and the president than focusing here on the allegation at hand and what she, as an advocate, as she said, would do to ensure that justice is done. I've not heard that personally. All I'm hearing is the government has the willpower to do this, and that. But here's my question to the studio guest. How familiar is she with the case? For how long has this case been going on? And also, has she been given authorization by the victim here, or the alleged victim here, to speak on this issue at this point, wherein the case is still in court? or still in front of the Senate here? And what's her position in a delay of this case when it should be something that I would say expedient, because
Fast track.
we know the nominee, this allegation is very serious. It has the ability to affect the nation. What is her position as a woman, as a mother? Who does she stand with in this case? And that's my concern and my question for the student guest here. Thank you so much, and I look forward to your answers.
Thank you. Mrs. Thompson?
Yes.
You can answer the question, please.
Oh, yes. First of all, we were giving the authority by the accuser, Wani Cummings Wilson, to advocate on her behalf at the national level. So we were contacted through our organization, WOBNET, the Women of Liberia Peace Network, and a reference to me, Yuna Kuma Thompson, as an advocate to as a cloud, as the cloud.
Hello, caller.
Oh.
Hello, how you doing?
Okay, just hold on. When she completes,
Hello?
and you can come. Yeah, go ahead, Mrs. Thompson. Sorry for the, the interruption
to answer
there.
your question,
Yeah,
to answer your question, yes, we were giving the authority to speak on her, to advocate on her behalf at the national level. And since we were informed about it about a week ago, not just about last week, actually, and since then, we joined her efforts in sending out communications to the various committees, asking for a halt to all confirmation proceedings until a thorough investigation. Since we were contacted by her, we informed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we instruct the committee with a letter. And so right now at the home country, everything that she's all communication, all contact, and all advocacy matters are referred to WOPNET, the Women of Liberia Peace Network, with me as part to coordinate. We were able to form a campaign team called Women's Rights Platform for Justice, #Wani, to make sure that this process goes through and that both receive justice. And you just said, what are we doing? We're talking about justice. We're talking about accusation. Our point here is we are moving behind. We do not want to, in other words, we do not want to victimize anybody. We do not want to begin to condemn the perpetrator. We do not want to accuse. Neither do we want anyone to dismiss the voice of warning. What we want is that investigations be conducted so that they both can enjoy justice. Now, we have to also recognize the efforts of the Senate of the government and also our president, our government, for taking a stance against rape and sexual gender-based violence. These are some of the tools that we stand upon to speak. We have to remember that we have laws, regional laws, national laws, highlighted by the commitment of the government to fight sexual gender-based violence, including sexual harassment. And so we hold our government accountable. We hold our lawmakers accountable when such a charge is made, that they should give it serious consideration and indulge into an investigation. So this is where we are, and this is what we have done, and this is why we speak. This is why I speak on behalf today of the team from Wani Cummings Wilson.
Okay, want to go back to the telephone line. Hello, caller. Tell us your name. Hello.
Hello, you getting me?
Yeah, you loud and clear. Go ahead, ask a question. Tell us your name first.
Yeah.
Listen to the telephone. What is your name?
Hello, you getting me?
Sir, please listen to the telephone and not the receiver. Yes, we are getting you. Tell us your name and where do you join us from tonight?
Yeah, I join you from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Go ahead and ask your question. Go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, my question to the guest on the show is have you ever inquired from the accuser about if anybody were around during this time, or if not, did she ever inform anybody there after this incident happened that she know of? And again, to the first quarter, not everybody or not everything you will hear because of some political sentiment, whatever, you just take it to be truth or lie. Like the lady said, investigation had to go through. People had to know what is going on. This is two career people serving their country. So if somebody come out and make the allegation, it's a way that the investigation had to go on before people can come out with, oh, the person is fighting for government, or the person is fighting for political party, or all that kind of thing. It's wrong in our society that every other thing these days is just politics, that the truth cannot be, revealed. And like, I have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. I would not want for anybody to abuse my daughter. Neither will I want for anybody to accuse my boys falsely. So when something like this come out, people need to go on, like she said, investigation. That's the only way the truth will be unveiled. So for people to be coming out to say, oh yeah, you be preaching for government, or you preaching for the person, you preaching for this, it's just wrong. So I just wanted to know if she ever informed people right after he did this according to her, so that at least investigation can kick out of there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Thompson.
Yes, she had not immediately when these things happen. And this is what we keep telling people: when women and girls experience, and even families experience such things and they want to talk about it, they get scared, stigmatization. Sometimes it takes a while for anybody to talk. Sometimes they don't talk at all. But when she decided to speak out, she did inform not only Kemea, but everyone that was supposed to know about it. We are not in a position to investigate, but we are calling for an investigation based on all of the information that has been submitted to address the allegations. And like you already said, my dear, we have to investigate. They are career people, they are parents. She's a mother, she's a career woman, she's a professional woman, and as well as Kemea, they all have families. So no one should condemn. We should not condemn them. We should not condemn anybody until an investigation is done. Similarly, we should not underplay. We should not begin to play gimmicks. Oh, she's talking while she's talking now. She wants something. This is what they always do when women begin to talk. Or not even women. Sometimes people who are victims of any situation, when they begin to talk, when they gather the strength, the courage to speak, sometimes to push them aside and they get afraid. What we need to do is don't discourage, don't victimize the victim, the alleged victim. Do not also condemn and kill the perpetrator without due process. We must investigate. Everyone remains innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
And that's what we're asking for.
Let us go back to the total for line. You're doing well so far. We have Ms. Telvina Cole on the line. Hello, Telvina.
Hello, Asher, and hello to your guest. How are you today, brother?
Good.
I wanted to listen in, but I felt like I needed to bring my 2 cents in. But I want to thank your guest for coming in and what she said. I'm not impressed. I'll be the first person to say that. I'm glad that she's been a veteran advocate, and as a veteran advocate, the first push is to support your victim and support not only by you saying that your actions and everything, and for everything you're saying clearly, as rational people, we can tell that you're biased, and from so many angles, we can analyze it up and down. That even though she reached out to you, but you're not balanced. You're very biased, and you're not seeking her interest in all ways, shapes, and forms.
So
are you saying in your words or your action and other ways you're saying it's not coming forward?
Are you saying though she represents?
I just want to let that out there without fear or favor. Let me go quickly to the point. I have no faith, like others have no faith in the justice system, because we've seen history time after time recently where victims have never gotten justice, even with all the evidence before our eyes. They've never gotten justice. And now you're talking about somebody who is high profile, who's, part of the leading government and every part of it. So the best approach now is to get an independent external body to investigate into this matter and come out with reports that we can say these are this is a valuable report that we can trust, and we can really trust the findings of it. Anything short of that is just going to be like any other case, just noise and a fake report that have no substance. So that's all I wanted to say.
So,
Delphina,
just before you go, are you saying she's biased against the person she represents?
She is not representing the client. Let me tell you, as Advocate 101, that you care to us. Nobody said you should tear Mr. Kimia, whatever his name, down. But your primary role is to support the victim or the survivor. That's all. You sing in the press, he's a general advocate. Mr. President is a group president and he stands for the country. You and I know, outside of politics, because all of this is politically driven, it's state managed, that George Weah is not the president that really means well for the country. For more education, I say it without favor or without anything. If he really says in his heart that he truly loves the country, as he says it all the time, his actions will speak that. He will walk his talk, especially when it comes to gender issues. Femininity chief, we don't see that. We don't see that. Putting together a flimsy roadmap with no substance in it, and even 12 days later, you have not even gone with the first thing to implement. It tells me nothing for somebody who has the country at heart. So we shouldn't be singing praise. It's about time as professional women that we call spade a spade. Independently speak on the issue and not be praising because, somewhere along the line I may get a job or because of my connection and all of that. We must stand for what we believe in and say it without fear or favor. I'm not impressed.
Thank you.
And I'm just one person and I have to be upfront. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Thompson.
I think she spoke very well. What you missed out there is simply what you are saying, which we concord, that an independent investigation should be conducted. That is what we have. And in case you missed my first statement, that today there was a Senate hearing and the Senate decided that they will halt the confirmation of Ambassador Kemenya until an investigation is done. This happened because of our various collective efforts and voices. So that is something that we must acknowledge, regardless. And we have to understand that no matter how we feel, in order to forge ahead, we have to build upon what we have. We have to seize the opportunity that avails itself for us to make a difference. So this is not about the individual George Weah, the president. It's about the decisions, whether he lives up to it or not. Today, we hold him accountable, as always, to hold on to his declaration, to the proclamation that rape and sexual gender-based violence is a national emergency. Today, we must acknowledge that the Senate concluded a hearing by saying they halt every hearing until an investigation. That is something that we must be proud of and we must acknowledge. Now, how they're going to go about it, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also mentioned that they will do an investigation. And I agree with you that our call for an investigation, it should be transparent, it should be of substance, it should ensure that every mechanism is put into place such that when we get the results, it is not biased, it is what it's supposed to be. Justice for all. And you cannot give justice for all if it's one-sided. Again, I agree that this is our stance, that justice must be for all and investigation must be conducted. It has nothing to do with what how we feel about the government, how we feel about the president. It's what we want to happen when a voice is raised. And we must be able to acknowledge the gains that we've made and strive towards making it better. And today, we look for justice for Wani Cummings Wilson. We've achieved one goal. That one goal was to halt the confirmation of Ambassador Kimia, and the Senate has come up with that ruling. That is an achievement. And we must build up now on the will of the president by the proclamation. We must hold him accountable that comes to fruition.
Now, we want to pick out a few questions from our Facebook audience here on the live feed. We have Ms. Grace Quarantine Goa. She said there was also allegations against Ambassador Kimayat for sexual molestation on a minor child. Did you speak on that? Question from Mrs. Goa.
Well, that wasn't brought. You can't fight every battle. You only take up what comes to you. So I don't know anything about that. But this will also create a platform. If the investigation is conducted, I think it may go out beyond just this. I don't know how it's going to be conducted. But if you have to prove yourself innocent, I am sure witnesses will have to come out for and against. So it's left with the investigation team, it's left with the lawyers as to how they will conduct it. Definitely to find someone not guilty, investigation means that they will gather information. They will gather facts, they will present evidence. From my end, we don't fight every case, that every situation is what comes to us. And it happens that this is the one that was brought to us. If you knew about that, if you know about such allegation of him against a young girl, I think it's about time that you speak out also, because I wasn't aware of that. I can only speak to what I know right now.
Are you a member of any political party or an affiliate of any political party in Liberia, since you said you've been in politics for quite some time now?
Definitely, I'm a political actor, but that has nothing to do. I have a right to associate with any political party. My stance on the issue, my advocate for women's rights is beyond politics. It's on the issue.
Okay, folks, if you're just joining us once again, we have Mrs. Thompson, Mrs. Yuna KUMBA Thompson as our special guest this afternoon on ASHFORD GARLEY Live. Again, the telephone number to call if you have a question is 313-408-8396. Okay, and that's the number to call. Now, is it true that you do not want to see Ambassador Kimaya confirmed as Minister of Foreign Affairs?
I think you make it personal. I have no personal feelings. It's not my issue. I do not have any authority over that. I'm focused on the issue that is before us right now, and that's what it is. And this is why we say we should not politicize our personal feelings, our perceptions cannot cloud our judgment. We should not allow our personal feelings, our perceptions to cloud what affects our nation and people or individual, especially we who speak, we who act in the interest of people, of individuals. So it's nothing. I have no personal thoughts on this. I'm focused on the issue at hand, and they need to have it investigated so that both Ambassador Kemeya and Ms. Wilson get justice.
And I know you said you were going to allocate 45 minutes. Now we're almost an hour, so perhaps give you one or two more questions, and then we can cut this quick. Now,
thank you.
How do you rate Ambassador Kimaya's performance at the United Nations as Liberia Permanent Representative?
I have not followed his actions. I'm not there at this point to express my rating. It does not matter. I've not been given a questionnaire. I do not make decisions. I do not determine. If at any point in time where the country feels that they have to look out, they have to reach out to citizens to grade people who serve them. If I'm giving such, I would definitely express my own view, but I don't follow him. It's not my place to see how he's performing. I do not have that authority, neither have I, made it my business to follow his workings.
Well, again, we want to say a big thank you. If there's anything final you want to say just before we cut this at night, you can do so.
Thank you. Did you say?
Yeah, finally, what else do you have to say before we cut this at night?
I'd like to say thank you for this time, and ask for everyone who's following this situation is to make sure that we join our voices, that there's justice. Again, it's not only for the alleged victim, but also for the alleged perpetrator. The way forward in Liberia is that justice is done, and in order to have justice, we have to fight to get the truth. We have to get the facts. We have to get the evidence. Everyone has a voice. The voices of women, the bodies of women and children cannot be undermined. No one is above the law, and we want to make sure that the trend that our nation is proceeding at this point to give each and everyone the voice, that should continue. And we do look forward to everyone joining us to make sure Liberia is on the right course for truth, for justice, and for the development of our nation.
Thank you so much, and just know that this is a home for you. Anytime, just let us know, and we'll have you here to speak to your people. Okay.
Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Thompson.
Okay.
Work it, work it, work it, work it.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends of Dillon, mothers, come one, come all. The battle of the sexy. The yellow ADD girls versus the red devil ADD boys to battle out in the ADD fundraising of the year. In support of the Senator's Security and Senatorial Re-Elections Day, we're having a fundraising drive on Sunday, September 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time via Zoom. The ADD Yellow Ladies versus the ADD Red Devil Boys. Wookie, that will go win. My people, I'm telling you, the battle would not be easy. Yours truly, the medicine of the microphone, ASHFORD Garley, will be the commentator. Special guest referee is the senator himself, the light, Darius DeLong. The godfather of Liberian politics, Emmanuel Yato, will captain the men. Hawa Yomi Moore of Mothers will captain the women. Official jersey, women in yellow and men in red. That will go win. See you on Sunday, September 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on British Radio Africa. That now you know me. Well, folks, that's how we go home today. Today's our first day on the local scene in Liberia. I want to say a big thank you to Super FM and Super Television Channel 10, Super FM 95.5 and Super Television Channel 10. We also want to say a big thank you to Live FM 104.1 for relaying our broadcast in Liberia. We will be back in Liberia on Wednesday, same time, 2 p.m. to 3:30. Okay, and we're also in communication with some other local radio stations back then. Abraham Sano, Big Brother Sam TK is in the building. Papi Doloba, Steve Bole, Leffy Thompson, George Weeder, and the rest of the crew. Until we see you on Wednesday, I'd like to say a big thank you for taking up time of your business schedule just to form part of the show today. As always, please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. Tough times don't last, tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises, and there's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone, because you can't hide your nakedness on bathing bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine. Yours truly, the medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. That now you know me, Garley. Have a good night.